It's Becca, and I am back with another speed build. So today I am renovating this lot in Sulani. This is the Caldera Camp, something like that. It's the one up underneath the volcano, and I thought it would be fun to turn this lot into a tiny house for a sim who works in the environmentalist career. And so I kind of pictured that they would live in a little house, and they would just have all these things that would help them with their career. So I didn't make it off the grid. I thought about it, but one of the things that you need for the environmentalist career is you need to do research on the computer. So it doesn't make sense for them to live off the grid and then have to travel somewhere else to use a computer. So I just decided to keep it on the grid. I did keep the volcanic activity lot trait though, because I thought that would add interest. Plus, if they're there studying the environment of Sulani, I feel like that would be something that they would be interested in doing. So anyway, since I'm making it a tiny home, I decided to make it a tier 2 tiny home. So this one is 64 tiles, and it has a kitchen and a full bathroom, and then it has a bedroom also, and then it's got a really nice rooftop deck area that I really like. So it's pretty simple, but I really like how it turned out, and I always love building in Sulani. I know I've said that in my other Sulani build that I made, but it's just, the world is so pretty. I love the items that came with Sulani, and it's just one of those worlds that I really enjoy building in because the landscape is so pretty and everything just fits well. So this is a limited pack build for me. I don't know what you guys consider a limited pack. For me, it's a limited pack build. So I have items from Island Living and Jungle Adventure and Cats and Dogs, because I also created this house with an environmentalist and their dog. So Cats and Dogs, and then I used Laundry Day, Tiny Living, and then I used the shower from University. I think that's the only item from University, but that shower, the wall mounted shower, it just works so well in a tiny house because it has such a tiny footprint. So I did use that item. So that's the only thing from Discover University that I used. But it worked for the floor plan that I created and the size of the bathroom. So anyway, but here I am working on creating access to the upstairs. So the upstairs, like the ceiling or the roof, like garden deck area, it doesn't count as part of the floor tiles. I enclosed it and put flooring on it, but it doesn't count because it's not technically a true room. It's not a fully... there's ways around the tiles. So with this one, it's got the roof deck, but it doesn't count as part of the tiles. So it's 64 tiles downstairs, and technically it's close. I mean, I don't know how many, I didn't count how many tiles are upstairs, but there's a lot. So there's a good amount of living space upstairs or on the roof also. So anyway, but I decided to go for this blue wall theme, and then I put down these fences with the dark wood on it, and I thought it was a really pretty color combination. And so I ended up changing all the windows to the darker wood, and I really like how it turned out. I just think it looks very tropical, and I really like it. So, and I put on the stilts because I love doing that in Sulani. And anyway, but I am continuing to just love playing with Tiny Living. I love all the items that came with it. I love the colors that they have. I love the challenge of building houses that are within those tiny, or within the tiles count, and I think it's so much fun. It's definitely one of the best packs, I think. So, and I'm not one of those people that goes, oh, let's rank our packs by what we want. Like, I mean, if I had to come down to it, I could rank the packs. I think that my ranking of packs would be completely different than how other people would rank them, which is totally fine. I think everybody has their own style of gameplay, everybody has their own style of building, and so different packs work better for different people. But for me, just the way that I build where I like to play in the game, it's just different, but that's okay. So I'm just working on putting in lights. My sim is halfway through the floor. It took me a little while to realize that she was doing that. That's my playtesting sim. I was just having her go around and make sure that everything worked before I continued on to like making sure the bathroom layout worked okay and everything. But anyway, yeah, so there she goes. No longer stuck in the floor. I don't know why that happened or when that happened, but it did. So, but she's better now. So, adding in, so I did actually put in a dining space, so there is, you can actually have a lot of people over because with the rooftop also, because I have this 4-seater table inside, and then I put a big round table upstairs on the roof, which seats 6 people, so there you can have a lot of people over if you want to, which works I think for Sulani because they have, you know, the kava parties, and they've got the event where it's the extra food where the neighbors will bring the food around and stuff. But anyway, at this point I'm just working on the bedroom, and I love this bedroom. I think it would be such a neat place to have like in your house because it's basically on an open air porch, and so I kind of picture that it was an open air porch and they converted it into their bedroom, and so it's got all the huge open windows and then the curtains so they can open them or close them for privacy, and I love using a variety of those because I think it just looks so realistic that you've got some windows open and some closed, and it's, I mean, it's a small bedroom. It's got a bed, it has the 2 side tables, and it's got a lamp. I put a mirror in there and a bed for the dog, and that's pretty much it. So, I like it, and then it's got a little porch off of it. So, and I moved the dog bed. That's when I was playtesting, she couldn't get out the door on that side, and so I had to scoot the pet bed closer to the wall. And since you can't control the pets in the game, I don't know for sure if the dog could get to the pet bed or not, but I will try and see if I can get that playtested before I put it up on the gallery. But we have moved into the living area, and I thought about using one of the combination bookend TV stereos from Tiny Living, but I decided not to because I didn't want to have that big and nice of a TV. I wanted it to be the little chunky TV because I just thought that suited the person who lived here a little bit better. So I just used the side table from Jungle Adventure and then put the TV on there and the little bookend and the speaker. So I thought that worked. So it is like the combination, but it's smaller. So, and then I put in these, I used the chair and sofa from Tiny Living, and I love the colors. I think that they work perfectly in this build and in Sulani. And then I used the little poof, and I eventually put that open book that came with it. Yeah, that one. I put it there and then I took it off, but I ended up putting it back because I just thought that, you know, they'd be writing their notes down and stuff. And then using this item in the bathroom because I love the little wall decorations that we got with Tiny Living. I think that they just work perfectly in almost every build, and I think a lot of people feel that way. But just adding in, and then I just put in these pictures, and then this is the little computer area, and I don't do it in the build, but because I had my sim living there, and so I didn't feel like putting in the cheat to unlock the laptop that came with the freelancer laptop update. But I did go back and do that because I thought that a laptop made the most sense for the person living here to have, and the laptop from Strangerville is the cheapest laptop, I think, but I didn't use anything from Strangerville in here. So I went in and got the laptop when I went to take my screenshots. I put that laptop in there. So there is a computer in the build, and it's a laptop, so your sim can take it with them. Where, you know, if they go to the library or wherever to do research, they can just take their laptop with them. So I thought that worked out pretty well. And then the kitchen, just putting a few finishing touches. The kitchen is really simple. You have the corner counter for food, and that's it. So I really didn't want to clutter it up at all because I didn't want it to be something that wasn't functional. So, and then I put the dog treats on top of the fridge because I thought that was kind of a nice touch. And I just added in a trash can, and that's pretty much it. I did really like using these, the fridge and oven combo from Jungle Adventures in the blue. I just thought that was a really pretty color to use. I love when I get the opportunity to add something extra in color to my builds. So obviously this build is very colorful, but that is a benefit of building in Sulani, I think. So, and that's pretty much the inside of the house. I just am adding a plant and a rug out here, and then I'm going to move on to the rooftop deck. So this rooftop deck, I really like how it turned out. I added in the grill, and then I added in the table and chairs. I used the table, the round table and chairs from Island Living. So I just put them up there, and so you've got a really nice area to grill and eat and just overlook the views of the island, which is just really pretty. And then I put in this seating area, which took me a really long time to figure out how to do. I struggle some with the size of some of the stuff, like the round tables, the big center ones, the round one, and then like the square ones. I like them. I love how they look. I like the colors. They are just too big for me to use unless I have a huge room. So I don't like them being too close together. So I ended up not using it, and then I was trying to find a couch, but I landed on this one from Jungle Adventure. And I ended up going with the 2-seater ones, and I just put a couple of those down and then put a table in the middle, and I think that it turned out really nicely, and I like how it looks. And so you've got this nice area for sitting up here too. And yeah, I didn't want the rooftop to be too cluttered, but I wanted it to be a livable space. And I mean, if you moved a sim in and you wanted them to paint, I think an easel would work really nicely up here also. Or you could put a garden up here if you wanted to. I did put a garden down on the ground, but you could have a rooftop garden also. So I mean, I think it adds a lot of functional space up on the top floor on the roof. So I like that a lot. And then here I decided to change around how it was because I didn't know what to do with that empty space up there. And so I ended up just getting rid of it. I decided to cut that out, and then I ended up putting in a glass roof over the bedroom, which I think would be amazing to have in a bedroom, especially this one because it's the open air, and so I think it just makes it seem really just open and airy and beautiful. So I put that in, and then I fenced in that part with the little fence, or the short roof, and I thought that worked nicely to cover up kind of the side trim of the roof. And I left this part in. I wasn't sure if I wanted to or not, but when I build with these ceiling fans and glass roofs, so the ceiling fan is just floating, and that annoys me. And so I usually there's a pole from Toddler Days that I use, and I shrink it down and then put it up through the fan, and so it makes it look like it's hanging. And I wanted to do something like that here, but I wasn't using Toddler Days, and so I was trying to find something else in debug, and I tried with the plunger for a little bit because I was like, oh, it has like a post and I could hide the plunger part, but it wasn't tall enough. And so anyway, I just decided to leave this in so you guys could kind of see my process, I guess, of how I do this. But I'm really happy. I ended up finding a perfect item, this pole right here, and it worked perfectly. I shrunk it down and raised it up using the Alt and 9 key, and it just fits perfectly, and it makes it look like the fan is just hanging from the ceiling. So that I really like how that turned out. And then out here on this part, I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to put, and I ended up putting these hanging plants from Jungle Adventure, and then I just made the wall taller and hung them from there, and I really like how it looked. I think it looks very green and lush, and I like it a lot. So I put that on there. I'm pretty much done with the rooftop deck. I do fiddle around with lights for a little bit, and I could not find lights that I liked for that area. I struggled with it and trying to find, I don't know, I love the hanging lights, but sometimes they just don't work the way you want them to. And since I was doing a limited pack build, I was also trying to find things that fit within the packs that I was using, and I couldn't get it. So both of the tables have lights, and that's it. I did not end up putting lights on that wall. I thought about it, but like I said, I could not figure out how I wanted to put them on. I thought about these, but I liked how they looked, but I also didn't, and so I just got rid of them. But that's okay. I think it still looks nice, and it definitely has enough light during the day too. And I mean, if you're out there and you're sitting at the tables, there's lights there. There's lights on the dining table if you're there. So I think it works. And now I'm moving on to the landscaping, and maybe I went a little bit overboard with the landscaping, but I love how it turned out. I think that it works really well for this area, for Sulani, and so I put in a lot of palm trees. I put in a ton of the green grass. I was really excited because I figured out that the debug plant items for this build, or for island living, are pretty much just as good as the regular one. So I was able to put a lot of landscaping in without adding to the cost of the house. So like I said, I put in a lot of plants and a lot of greenery, and I think that it makes the yard just look really nice. So I have this area over here for the fire pit, and then I also put in a garden and a decorational clothesline. So, and then I did add in a fish trap also, because I thought that maybe they were catching fish, because I know one of the things with the environmental career is they have where you catch the fish that are the invasive species and that kind of thing. So I thought that that worked for that. But I will say, so this build is up on my gallery, and my gallery ID is BekahSue, and the house is, I think it's around 38,000 simoleons to buy. And like I said, it's limited pack, and I do really like how it turned out in the color. The screenshots, like on the gallery page, this lot is awful for putting pictures up on the pictures that go up on the gallery, because that boulder that you see right in the front, it blocks half of the lot. So if you look at the picture on the gallery, there's the boulder and then the house. So you can't see any of this side yard at all. And I had to move the palm tree that's in the back right of the house because it blocked the entire interior view on the gallery. So I did move that so you can actually see the inside of the house on the gallery. But I wish that we could put our own screenshots in for our gallery pictures. I think that would work so much nicer. Even if it was just like your first picture, if you could just put your own picture on there, I think that would work really nice. Because I feel like sometimes just the way that the lots photograph for the gallery, it doesn't show off people's abilities. And I'm not just talking about mine, I'm just talking about people in general, where, it blocks, like this one, where the boulder blocks half the view. If it just, you can't see what somebody's done, and just, I don't know. So that's a little bit annoying, but that's okay. So, but I'm pretty much just finishing up this deck, and then I'm going to build the garden. And that's about it. With the garden that I built outside, I just I put in pretty much just the plants that you would find in the world of Sulani. So there's the coconut tree, the pineapple plant, the taro root plant, and the kava plant, and that's it. That I put in. You could obviously change it up if you wanted to have some other plants as well, but I think that I just like the idea of having the plants that maybe the environmentalist is studying. I thought about putting in a pool, and I just decided not to because I didn't want it to be too crazy expensive. So, and I did add a kava bowl in here, and I got rid of this plant because I like that we can raise things up and put them where they don't have to slot onto something, but sometimes when I play with the walls cut away, or like the half down walls or whatever, and it annoys me sometimes to find floating plants, and so I just chose not to do that in this build. But anyway, I pretty much am just putting down the landscape, or not the landscape, the terrain paint for the garden, and that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and it is on my gallery if you would like to download it and add it into your game. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye!